Second Chance, Part 3, Chapter 11. Cold. Once Nozomi started to work with Tamu, the days passed a little faster. Nozomi never considered tending to plants before, but it wasn't too dissimilar to nursing. Both plants and people were very sensitive and needed lots of attention and specialized care, though, unlike people, plants never made a sound when they were hurt or dying. With each week, the air grew colder, but the greenhouse bloomed with life. Nozomi was still stuck using crutches, but she managed just fine. One day, Tana needed Zaffix to gather firewood, so it fell on Nozomi to be Zaffix's temporary replacement. It was strange feeling this energetic again. One of their crops were ready to harvest. Nozomi helped Tamu pluck the unique star-shaped fruit. She never tried a blue fruit that wasn't a blueberry. With their work completed, Nozomi and Tamu prepared to carry the fruit inside. Nozomi could have held Tamu's hand, but she preferred to hold his wrist. Tamu didn't complain as she pulled him along, until she noticed something flutter past her face. Nozomi stopped dead in her tracks. It's snowing. Joyous! A little early, but joyous nonetheless, especially since this is your first time experiencing this natural wonder. It wasn't the first time Nozomi saw snow. She had seen plenty through the parasite's memories. Even before then, she saw it in old books. Yet neither compared to actually experiencing it, trying to predict where the snow would fall and how fast, feeling it melt on her bare hands. Snow was beautiful, and yet looking at it filled Nozomi with dread. It wasn't like the rain that initially spooked her friends. Rain was hard and loud. Snow, however, was gentle and inviting. So many things died in the embrace of snow. What do you think, Nozomi? Oh, it's beautiful, but we should take the Pakuis inside. Suppose. Then we can come out and enjoy the falling snow together. Sounds like a good idea. Zomi wanted to stay far away from the snow. Within just a few days, the entire mountain base was smothered in a blanket of snow. A blanket so thick Nozomi couldn't walk through it with her crutches. Seeing this, Tana ordered Nozomi to stay inside along with Tamu. With nothing better to do, Nozomi finally read the books Tamu gathered for her. She read them aloud for Tamu to hear. He had so many questions. Some of the books were scientific, some were fiction, some even had notes on Futurum, and some books had their owners' names, such as Satoshi, Hikaru, and Jin. Nozomi loved escaping through the books with Tamu, yet sometimes, when she held a book, she couldn't help but think about Aito. Almost every time she saw him, he was reading, until he blinded himself. She should have spoken to him, talked about him. Maybe then he wouldn't have hurt himself, or at the very least, he would have trusted her to read to him the way she would have had they grown up together. The nights grew longer and the snow deeper. Pretty soon, Tana was boarding up the windows and fortifying the roof. Nozomi wanted to help, but Tana refused. Did krakens truly exist? Not exactly. They had something similar called giant squids that lived deep underwater, but they weren't as vicious as krakens. Ooh! And how big were they? 13 meters. Wow! I wonder if we have something like that in our oceans. Maybe. Have you ever been to the ocean? Not that I can recall. Would you want to? If sister wanted to, I'd happily go with her. But what about you? Oh, I don't want to worry sister. The outside world is dangerous. Well, it should be calmer since, you know. Indeed, but I'd rather not bother sister. She knows what's best. The mountain is safe and reliable. But doesn't it get boring? Not when you're here. Suddenly, Tana rushed in with a bundle in her arms. She took out one of the drawers from the desk and placed the bundle before rushing out. What was that? I don't know. Curious, Nozomi checked the drawer, and there, bundled in the cloth, sopping wet, was the raven. It was shivering and cold. What is it? It's the crimson corvid. Oh! Eventually, Tana rushed back in. Where, where did you find him? Oh, this little guy? Little dummy fell into the lake, so I had to fish him out. Oh, you are familiar with the crimson corvid, sister? Yeah, for the past few months, this little bugger wouldn't leave me alone. Little dummy. Stupid Makatu. Makatu? Oh, yeah. You named him? Kinda had to, since he wouldn't leave me alone. Yeah, yeah. Little dummy. Oh. Azomi felt weirdly jealous. She was the one who threw the raven out. He had every reason to find someone better to be friends with. What does Makatu mean? It's like this round red cake. Oh, we haven't had Makatus in so long. That's sweet. If we ever come across sugar, I'll make them. Joyous! Maybe Makatu will find some when he feels better. I wouldn't be surprised. Nozomi watched as Tana continued to pet the raven. Makatu noticed and looked at her. I'm guessing you two know each other? What? Is that true? Well, yes. Makatu actually helped me out before you found me. How so? He helped me find my way when I was lost and offered me comfort. Animals always have a sense for when they're needed. Zaphix was the same way. It is as God is acting through them. So, what happened between you two? You threw him out, and that's why he started bothering me? Yeah, I shouldn't have. Makatu, I'm so sorry. Makatu chirped and bowed his head a little. He forgives you. How do you look at him? He's begging for you to pet him, so, like, go on. Nozomi stretched out her arm. Makatu didn't move. She brushed her two fingers against his cold, damp feathers. Mikado looked at her and chirped. Sorry, I don't have any berries to give you. He'll be fine. We'll keep him inside for the winter. We will? He's in no shape to be outside, and I do not want to save his feathered butt again. It's what he wants. Are you sure? Sister always knows best with the animals. Yup. Suddenly, Tana sneezed. You should warm up too. Tana's cheeks began to blush. I'll be fine. The next day, Tana came in with breakfast as usual. However, her face looked a little redder than usual. Are you okay?
Fine. Eat your food.
You sound sick.
I'm fine. Even if I was sick, I've gotten far worse. It wouldn't be like losing a leg.
Tana.
I don't need your pity.
Later that day, Tamu visited Nozomi like always. He was accompanied by Zaphix, but also Mikatu. As soon as the raven saw her, he glided right over to Nozomi's lap. Sister sounds so ill. What do you usually do when she gets sick? Oh, well, she just works through it until it either passes or she passes out. That's horrible! It is, which is why I have a favor to ask you. What is it? Could you make something for my sister? It's a special porridge my grandmother made. Sister must have given it to you when you first came here. I remember. If you tell me what to do, I can make it. Thank you, Nozomi. You are very kind. It's the least I can do. In the kitchen, Nozomi prepared the ingredients and got to work, following Tamu's instructions. It sounded like an easy enough recipe, however, Tamu sounded a bit unsure. Um, Nozomi? Yes? May I ask you a question about her? Her? Tamu awkwardly pointed to his head. You mean, oh, no, I shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry. No, 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 it's okay. It's okay. This was the first time Tamu asked her a personal question since she snapped at him. What did you want to ask? Are you sure? I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I don't need to know. Tamu, I'm fine. Just ask me. Well, you said she talks to you, so I just wondered. Well, that wasn't the full truth. She talked to me before when I was on my own, but she stopped the day after I came here. She hasn't spoken to me since. Why? Because I told her to. Oh. Tamu held his tongue as best he could. You don't have to worry about me. I'm doing much better, thanks to you and Tana. I understand. If you ever need help, I'm always here to support you. Same here. Eventually, Tana would come home and test out their soup. She was not so pleased that Nozomi tried to recreate such a precious family recipe, but she still managed to eat it. How does it taste, sister? A bit bland, but it's fine, I guess. That's good. Don't think this means you'll get to boss me around. I'm still the one in charge. I wasn't thinking that. Sure. Nozomi huffed. Tommy laughed. What's so funny? Apologies, but you two are so silly. Silly? Yes, see? You so serious that you end up acting silly. I guess. Don't agree with him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Tamu just laughed more. It must have been nice. Nozomi wondered if she would ever laugh again. Probably not. But at least Tamu could. Thanks to the porridge and her strong will, Tana recovered from her cold. Meanwhile, Nozomi was still stuck on crutches. That is, until a few days later. Tana walked in with breakfast as usual, but also a pair of scissors. It's time for the cast to come off. Are you sure? I know what I'm doing. A cast usually took 6 to 8 weeks to come off. It was clearly longer than that, probably because the fracture was more severe. How many days had it been since she started this journey? 100? Hey! Nozomi snapped back to reality. Yes? Before we do this, I have a request. A suggestion, really. It's up to you. What is it? Tana took a deep breath, her eyes darting away for a moment. Stay with us, at least until the end of winter. But I thought you wanted me gone. I did, but there's no way you're going to survive out there on your own. I could manage. It's too cruel! Nozomi blinked. Tana bowed her head. Sorry. I'm sorry. I should have never encouraged you to kill yourself. It's okay. Tana lifted her head. It was heartless, especially when I knew how it felt. What do you mean? If I didn't have Tomu, honestly, I would have killed myself after my grandmother died, probably even before. Nozomi was speechless. I know you still want to die. I mean, how could you not? It's unbearable. Regretting that you lived when countless others didn't. I don't need your pity, just as you don't need mine. Life moves on, whether we want it to or not. But you can always choose, Nozomi. You don't have a purpose. You don't owe anything to the dead. Nozomi's chest twisted and ached. Was this for Tomu? Was someone else reflected in Nozomi's eyes? Or was it possible Tana truly wanted her? Tana looked at her with a face that was clearly pleading for someone. Whether it was truly Nozomi or most likely someone else, it wouldn't hurt to stay and maybe know. I'll stay. Thank you. Nozomi looked into Tana's eyes. They were so red. They looked like fire when they were touched by sunlight. She could see that fire burned from someplace much deeper. Nozomi was truly envious. Tana deserved to live and flourish. Are you ready? Yes. Nozomi lifted the sheets off, allowing Tana to gently caress her bandaged leg. It required a good amount of force to break through the cast, yet Tana still managed to break it open as seamlessly as if it were silk. Nozomi's leg hardly shook, but her heart beat a few extra paces. Finally, the shackle was removed. There. How do you feel? Good. You want to try to walk? Yes. Tana nodded and offered her hand. Nozomi felt lighter, not just from her free leg. With Tana's support, Nozomi stood on her 2 feet again. How do you feel? Strange. Nozomi's newly freed leg trembled and gave out. Tana was there to keep her steady and balanced. Easy there. Don't go too crazy, you know. It's been a while. Yeah. Here, let me get you back to bed. Thank you. It's weird, though. This whole time, I've never seen you struggle in your sleep. Have you ever had any nightmares? No, thankfully. That's insane, though. After everything you've gone through, it shouldn't be possible. Well, I think I was just lucky. You say that, but when was the last time you had a nightmare? When I was 10. When did you get sacred blood? That's not. Zomi stopped. She didn't want to think about it. I guess that's why. Sounds like a good deal to me. Isn't it sacrilegious? It's just blood. You didn't steal it. But I took Quinzelay's blood and his life. You had to, in order to survive. Do you even believe in God? I think you know what I believe in by now. Just don't tell my brother. He needs his faith. He hasn't mentioned it as much these days. Naturally, he rightly figured it bothered you. I don't want him to censor himself. Nozomi, relax. He's fine. I'd know if he wasn't. Okay. There was an awkward silence. So, what are we eating to celebrate? Oh, no, I'm fine. It's just a pick something. Chicksen? Good. We'll eat together in the kitchen from now on. Thank you. I'm just doing my job. Tamu came in later that day. Zaphix rushed forward to sniff her newly freed leg. Zaphix, what are you doing? She's just curious, now that my cast is off. What? Sister removed it? Yep, just this morning. Oh, why didn't she tell me? I guess to surprise you. How do you feel? Much better. Hopefully I'll be able to help you in the greenhouse again. You're staying? Yep. Joyous, joyous, joyous! Thank God! Now you can celebrate Halazien with us. We can keep reading books together. Oh, once the snow melts, Dofia will be in season again. The snow blooms are so pretty, according to Sister. Mrs. Omi smiled. Thomas sounded just like a kid. Once he noticed he was talking a lot, Thomas shut his mouth. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so happy you'll be staying with us. No worries. You mentioned Hala something? What is that? Ah, yes, Halazien. It is passed down from one of the great original guardians, one of the four original commanders, Halashia. You see, she was born into a very cold world, but the moment she was born, she was able to create flames. Flames so powerful that they would continue to burn as long as she lived. Undying flames. Nozomi's heart stopped. A horrifically familiar laugh echoed in her ears. She could feel the ash on her hands. Everyone. It came again. The fire in her blood. The intense burning. Nozomi gave in to its hold and collapsed like a broken puppet. Nozomi! Nozomi closed her eyes. She felt a cool hand on her forehead. You get sister right away! Just hold on! Nozomi held on to her rejection symptoms, her ever faithful companion that forced her into this agonizing life. She held on so tight she couldn't register anything else. Suddenly, Nozomi was lifted upwards, glass pressed against her lips, the sweetest and sickeningly familiar smell. What little strength she had, she used to seal her lips shut. A girl's voice softly pleaded in her ear. Nozomi, please. Nozomi's strength left her. Tana poured the sweet concoction into her mouth. It felt warm like milk and tasted as sweet as caramel. Seamlessly, it flowed down her throat. Within minutes, all the heat evaporated. Nozomi opened her eyes to see Tana holding her while Tamu watched. Tana sighed with relief. Phew, you're okay. She is? Yes. She just opened her eyes and her fever's gone. How do you feel, Nozomi? Fine. You gave us quite the scare. Sorry. You should rest. It's been a long day. I'll wake you up when the chicksen is done. Okay. Rest well, Nozomi. I will. Tana helped Nozomi back up into her bed. Her rejection symptoms were completely gone, but her whole body ached. She didn't complain. She was already such a burden to them. Once she was settled, Tamu and Tana left. Nozomi wasn't alone. She would never be alone. The lover's lily It was just a temporary remedy for her rejection symptoms. She wanted to believe it could heal everything wrong with her, but it couldn't eradicate the parasite inside her. It couldn't raise the dead. It just prolonged her miserable existence. It tasted bitter compared to the warm embrace of death. She forgot how much she missed that feeling. Nozomi looked over to the boarded up windows, covered in snow and frost. The shackle was gone. Nothing could stop her now. Anna prepared chicksen and brought Nozomi into the kitchen to feast. Tamu apologized for saying anything wrong. Nozomi reassured him he did nothing wrong. The siblings were so happy. They were perfect together, all each other truly needed. Even Mikatu was happier alongside them as Tana fed him some of her food. Nozomi had no appetite, but she forced it down anyway. She'd smile and act the part of the happy and grateful survivor. She couldn't arouse suspicion. Neither seemed to notice. Tana was more focused on Tamu. After the small celebration in her honor, Tana walked Nozomi back to her bed. She'd interrogate her, looking for any cause for Nozomi's symptoms. Nozomi simply told her that her blood just needed a boost, so there was nothing to worry about. Tana looked at her, rather, the person she reminded her of. Whatever you do, whatever you choose, don't be stupid. What do you mean? You know what I mean. Nozomi paused. She didn't fool her at all. Good night, Nozomi. I hope you sleep well. You too. Good night, Tana. Nozomi waited in bed for hours, waiting for the perfect moment when everyone was asleep. Once it came, she simply stepped out of bed, leaving behind her crutches. She navigated through the dark hallways of the base towards the entrance. It would prepare her eyes and leg. When Nozomi opened the door, she pushed by a gust of cold wind. She stepped out into a frozen world that was barely brighter than the inside of the base. What paths Nozomi and Tana had shoveled out were once again covered in snow. Even the lovers' lilies were smothered, yet alive. Nozomi looked over to the lake, now frozen over. It called to her. However, Nozomi walked in the opposite direction, towards the valley entrance. Her boots crushed through the thick layers of snow. Cold winds tickled and bit her skin. Nozomi didn't care. She just kept walking. To where? She didn't know, but she knew her destination. Nozomi had little experience with snow, but walking through it like this felt so familiar, like the time she was 8 years old. She woke from a horrific nightmare filled with blood and her father's screams. Despite that, Nozomi didn't cry out. She remained silent in the dark. Slowly, she gathered her courage to walk to her mother's room. It was only a few meters, yet for a child, it might as well have been an ocean away. Still, young Nozomi persevered. She pushed through and made it to her mother's bed, only to realize she never came home that night. In the present, tears began to form in Nozomi's eyes. Here she thought they had all dried up. Regardless, she kept walking. She made it out of the valley and into the forest. The shade of the snow smothered trees darkened her path. Nozomi kept walking. Her hands and face were numb. Nozomi kept walking. A sliver of her wanted to go back. Nozomi kept walking. She had to. She needed to. She wanted to. Nozomi tripped. She tumbled down the slope of the mountain, just a bit, until she ended up in a clearing. What pain she felt was eased by the snow, both by its cool and fluffy texture. It felt just like her mother's bed. She looked up to see the countless stars above. This was it. Zomi had found her final resting place. There were so many ways Nozomi could die: burning, mauling, drowning. Yet, out of everything, this was the perfect death for her. Not the death she wanted, but the death she deserved. It was peaceful and easy to just lie here and let the cold take her. She expected the parasite to scream out in horror, but even now she stayed true to Nozomi's command. Or maybe she also wanted to die. Takumi would be so disappointed with her. Nozomi didn't care anymore. She already disappointed everyone. What was one more? Her death wouldn't completely go to waste. The bear was hibernating with her cubs, but other animals would feed off her frozen corpse to survive the winter. Nozomi closed her eyes, fully prepared to sleep forever. The cold seeped into her robes and deeper into her skin. Her body shivered, but it would stop eventually. Until she heard it, something racing towards her, a warm muzzle pressed down into her neck. Instinctively, Nozomi flinched, but it felt too small to be a bear. Whatever it was, it licked her. Nozomi refused to open her eyes and see. Nozomi? Is that you? Are you there? Nozomi remained as silent as death. She heard Tamu come closer. It sounded like he knelt down into the snow. His fingers grazed her skin, searching for her wrist. He found it and checked her pulse. Oh, thank God you are still alive! Can you hear me? Nozomi? Tamu gently shook her. No response. Zaphix pounced on her with all her weight, forcing Nozomi to make a sound. Thank God! You're awake now, too! Can you hear me, Nozomi? She could have tried to lie, but there was no point. Yes. Tamu hesitated. Why was he hesitating? Do you want me to leave you here? Nozomi would have blinked had she not realized her eyes had been frozen shut. What? You said before that you wanted to die, and I took that choice from you. I did. I don't want you to die, but I also don't want to make you miserable. It just wouldn't be fair after all you've been through. I'll go back. Why? I wasn't thinking right. I thought you and Tana were better off without me. No! We both love you! Zaphix, Mikatu, and all the plants love you too! Tamu meant it. Every damn word. It was clear in his voice, so strong and confident like his sister. I should have known better. You aren't just saying that now that I caught you. No, I'm ready to go. Then if you will allow me, I will take you home. Please. She shouldn't have waited this long. She should have jumped into the lake or scratched right into her jugular somehow. And it was too late. Tamu cared for her. Against her better judgment, she cared for him too. It was her curse, to care. Here, if you will allow me, I'd like to carry you. Thank you. I can't really see right now. I can't see either, but we'll make it through. How did you know I was out here? Oh, well, Zaphix woke me up, and when we went outside, I felt footprints in the snow. Didn't you think they were your sisters? No, sisters' footprints are a bit different, a bit bigger. Don't tell her I said that. Your secret's safe with me. They returned to the base, to Nozomi's room. There, the heat melted the ice from her eyes. When she opened them, she thought she saw Takumi, but it was Tamu. Tamu unhooked Zaphix's harness. She leapt up into Nozomi's bed with minimal prompting. Hesitantly, Nozomi placed a hand on her striped back. Thank you. Hmm? I mean it. Thank you for saving me. Tamu paused. He didn't smile. He knew she was lying. You're welcome. If you need anything, I will be right here. I'll keep that in mind. Nozomi closed her eyes and snuggled with Zaphix. She didn't realize Velvy's purred until now. When next Nozomi woke up, Tana was at her bedside, illuminated by the desk lamp, her arms crossed and her face stern. Oddly, her spear was gone. So, you're awake. I'm sorry. It was stupid and thoughtless of me to run off, especially when I said I'd stay. I'll say. Is Tamu okay? Physically, yes. He's in the greenhouse. What about. Why do you care? Because, be honest. Don't lie to me. I thought maybe both of you were better off without me, but I was wrong. I swear, you're such an idiot sometimes. But I've had my fair share of screw ups too. So, what do you want me to do? Seriously? I told you! You're the one who gets to decide. But why? That's just how it is. You've made a full recovery physically. I can't help you with the rest, even if I wanted to. Would you want to? Obviously! Why, though? Because I'm Tana's friend? No, because. Tana stopped right there. Her face was flushed with red. Say it. I want to know. How do you feel about me? I care about you. Because, kind of like friends. What? We barely talk. You hated me. I did, but that was a long time ago. I don't know. I thought it was obvious. Why couldn't you get that? Gah! I'm not a mind reader, Tana. I know that, but seriously? Didn't you notice how vulnerable I got? Zomi thought back to yesterday and the days before. All the times Tana continued to care for her. She thought it was simply good bedside manner. Or that Tana saw someone else in her. I did. It clicked with Nozomi. She was so ridiculous. And so was Tana. Despite everything, they both acted like embarrassing schoolgirls, too caught up in their own feelings and insecurities to say how they truly felt. It was so comical. Well, I'm glad to know you think this is so funny. Without meaning to, Nozomi's laugh infected Tana. Suddenly, they were both laughing. Over what? They weren't exactly sure. Nozomi? Sister? Tana was so busy laughing she couldn't snap at him to go away. What happened? The two girls looked at him and laughed some more. He was right. They were so silly. Absolutely ridiculous. Eventually, they were able to control themselves again. Sorry, Tamu. We're good. We're good. Yes. I'm sorry, Tamu, for everything. So, you two are on good terms? Yes, yes. Oh, thank God. Really, it was Zaphix who knew what to do. Then again, maybe there was something to what Tamu said about God acting through animals. Well, now that that's over with, let's get some lunch. I'm in the mood for Zashia. Oh, yes, that would be most delicious. You still want me to eat with you? Obviously. Do you need my help or not? No, I'll get up now. Good to hear. Without further delay, Nozomi stood up and walked side by side with Tamu and Tana. She knew now, despite everything, they wanted her, and only her. Nozomi sighed with relief, still guilty for what she had done. But if it didn't bother them, then she thought maybe she could let it go. Most of it, at least. Nozomi sneezed. We'll have grandmother's porridge for lunch then. Chapter 12. Shaoze. Life was miserably peaceful on the satellite. 2 years had passed since Nozomi's mom died. Life went on for everyone as usual. Everyone except Nozomi. Nozomi could have joined clubs in that time. She didn't want to. No one would want to be with her friend anyway. So Nozomi returned to Shiori's apartment. Upon opening the door, a familiar scent invited Nozomi in. For a single second, she foolishly thought her dad had risen from the dead. A memory of wailing sirens reminded her of the truth. There, even though she tried to avoid her, Shiori caught wind of Nozomi. Oh, welcome back, Nozomi. You're home early. Yes, I was able to get off work early. I made some breakfast for dinner. I was thinking, I know it's the week, but maybe we could do something fun today. Maybe watch a movie? You can pick, of course. It was a trap. Everything Shiori did was a trap. But this was a new low. She was hell-bent on erasing Nozomi's memories of her parents. Also, she could selfishly take their place. It didn't matter that Shiori was kind to Nozomi back during the Cryptoglobin project. She lost that bond when she betrayed Nozomi's mom, all the while still acting like a saint. Sorry, I have homework. Oh, I see. You're a smart girl. I'm sure you could get it done quick. I can keep the dinner warm for you. These assignments are pretty long, so they'll probably take all night. Sorry. No, I understand. I should have known better since it's only the beginning of the week. Would you like to do something this Sunday then? It depends on my homework, but I'll keep it in mind. Shiori perked up. It made Nozomi sick. Thank you, Nozomi. You're welcome. Sorry, but I need to get to my homework. Shiori nodded and granted Nozomi passage into the kitchen. There, the sickeningly familiar meal awaited her. Pancakes and egg rolls, both perfectly made. She wasn't going to eat them. She wouldn't even offer this insult to her parents in the Butsudan. Plate in hand, Nozomi walked to her room. Along the way, she could feel Shiori's piteous gaze. It made Nozomi's blood boil. She needed to stay focused and rest for tomorrow. That way, she would be fully prepared to infiltrate Kamakura General Hospital to avenge her real mother. The sun set, ushering in Halazian. Nozomi helped Tamu gather all the pillows and blankets they could find. Together, they'd lay them around the rec room's fireplace. Despite Tana's protest, Nozomi joined her in cooking. Whatever scraps of food managed to slip onto the floor, Mikatu was happy to clean up. The feast was incredible. Afterwards, the trio, bellies full, walked to the nest of pillows and blankets. Tana lit the fireplace with flint and steel. Unwillingly, Nozomi thought back to when she was instructed on how to make a fire. The pride she felt when it finally worked. Pride not just for herself, but also her. Nozomi was so focused on her mother back then, she didn't even notice them talk about Halazian. Did she celebrate it with her family? Before we begin our tradition, Sister and I wanted to give you something as a way to honor the winter holiday you celebrate. Huh? Carefully, Tamu handed Nozomi something wrapped in leaves and tied with string. Merry Christmas, Nozomi! What? Tamu, Tana, you didn't have to get me anything. Relax, just open it already. Okay. Nozomi opened the gift carefully to find it was a geode filled with beautiful red crystals. This is so beautiful. Now you have the stars in your hands. Thank you. Mikatu would also come in with a gift. It was just a tiny little twig, but it was very cute and precious. Now that they celebrated Christmas, they could get back to Halazian. For this part, they would go around and offer praise and thanks to each other. Tana and Tamu started, of course. Yep, I'm lucky to have a brother like you, Tamu. You can be a little dumb sometimes, but you got a good heart. Oh, sister, you are going to make me cry. Oh, I'm not that special. You saved Nozomi twice. Well, I suppose I did. Yeah, Tamu, you're amazing. Not as amazing as you are, Nozomi. Yeah, you're tough as nails. And sorry again for being so rude to you. Yeah, it's okay. Honestly, I would have given anything to have friends like you two growing up. I feel the same way. Don't you, sister? Human thing aside, it would have been great. But past is the past, so we gotta make do with what we got. Agreed. Like Zaffix and Mikatu, we mustn't forget to praise them. Mikado hopped over to Nozomi's free hand. Nozomi offered her arm for him to perch on. Once he settled, she smiled and stroked his neck. I'd be lost without you. Even when I was cruel, you never left me. I'm so sorry for that. Nozomi couldn't resist. kissing him on his soft little bird head. Mikado hummed. His tail feathers twitched. Tana scooted over and stroked him as well. Well, that's all of us accounted for. Now for the dearly departed. Ruix isn't dead, though. No, that geezer's probably still walking around spouting old legends. Wait, do you know him? Yes. When do you think he saw the lover's lilies? When he was young? Nope, he came by here a few years ago. He was a most polite and fun guest. I hope he visits again one day. Maybe he will. Then I can properly thank him. That would be most splendid. He better bring a lot of sesvu with him. He owes us for eating all of it. Oh, sister, you never forget anything. Well, I hope to never forget grandmother, who is watching over us with mother and father. Oh, you knew I was going to say that. Yep. I'm sure their generous hearts would be moved to see us thriving along with our new friends, Nozomi and Mikatu. Yeah, Grandma would love you, Nozomi. She'd appreciate how much you want to help all the time. Mom and Dad would be hesitant, but they'd warm up to you too, I'm sure. Agreed. You really think so? We know so! Nozomi flinched at how certain and in sync they were. Remember the time Father brought home that injured kitten? I remember it. He was sneezing like crazy. Mom yelled at him for ignoring his allergies. Luckily, she tended to the kitten and took it to the shelter. She, you cried so much, Tana. Did not! Perhaps it was allergies, but I distinctly remember seeing tears. That's so sweet. Whatever. Everyone smiled and laughed. Slowly, silence fell over the group. It was different from the one before. There was something nipping at all of them. Was this it? Was this the moment? It came so quick. Zomi wished she was ready. It is your choice whether you want to speak of anyone you've lost. You can always honor them in silent prayer. Zomi looked into Tamu's milky eyes. When she first saw him back then, she thought he was Takumi. Even now, she could see pieces of him in Tamu. She could see pieces of all her friends and the siblings. Some were obvious. Tana certainly watched over her sibling as strongly as Gaku would with his. Some were more subtle. Tamu's ever-positive outlook reminded her of Moko. Was that wrong? Was she trying to replace her friends? Suddenly, Tana placed her hand on Nozomi's. Don't overthink it. Nozomi looked into Tana's warm red eyes. Well, I told Tamu before. He told me. I know what they did was unforgivable. But they didn't know. You needn't worry, Nozomi. You said it yourself. They gave their lives to save our planet. But friends of Nozomi's are friends of ours. So don't be afraid to tell us all about them. You guys. Nozomi wasn't cornered. She was being offered kind ears and possibly two shoulders to cry on. Sensing her feelings, Mikado rubbed his head against her. Takumi. He gave everything to protect the ones he loved. Even when we all learned the horrific truth. He was upset and he stayed in his room for days. We all did. But when I needed them, he was the first one to rush to my side. He... was my best friend, better than I could have ever dreamed. It's why I promised him I would share his hopes with Futurans. And you most certainly have, Nozomi. Nozomi hiccuped. It felt like the words streamed out of her like tears. Nozomi. Nozomi blinked, realizing she was already crying. He sounds like the most incredible friend in the world. Or I guess, universe. We shall never forget Takumi and his sacrifice. Thank you, both of you. Would you care to tell us more? You don't have to. No, I want to. I need it. Don't rush it. Take it at your own pace. We have all night. Nozomi nodded. For the next few hours, Nozomi spoke of her precious friends. She revealed their tragic origins, but also their determination. Both siblings eagerly listened, completely unafraid. Yet, Nozomi still worried they didn't want to listen. Nozomi didn't want to selfishly hog the celebration, so she asked the siblings about their grandmother and parents. They opened up. Their memories of their parents were fuzzy, just like the memories of Nozomi's dad. Their grandmother, on the other hand, was much clearer, a spirited protector who loved to grow plants with Tamu and cook with Tana. Time flew as they alternated between the precious loved ones they wanted to remember. The trio laughed and kept reminiscing. If only this warm, joyous moment could last forever. Inevitably, sleep beckoned them. Tamu was the first to yawn, then Tana, and even Nozomi. They tried to fight it off. Nozomi wanted to tell them about the time Kurata needed her mask fixed. Okay, I think we should go to bed now. Oh, but sister, don't worry. We can share stories whenever we want. Tana's right. Will you tell us more about Takumi and the others? Of course, she said, even though she feared the well was starting to run dry. Then let us sleep. Sounds good to me. Tana let out a yawn like a cat before curling up into the pillows and blankets beside her brother. Tamu snuggled up beside her, pulled in by her warmth. Nozomi laid down a good distance away from them. The fire continued to burn, as was tradition. Nozomi closed her eyes. She could see her friends a little clearer now. Something else came to her. Images of the satellite and all its residents. She remembered the path she walked from the school to the hospital, the park she played in when she was little, the grocery store she shopped at. Silhouettes moved and crowded in these places. People once alive, now dead and forgotten. Nozomi knew she couldn't control it, yet it hurt all the same. Nozomi opened her eyes. Everyone was still sound asleep. There was no possible way to remember every person who lived on the satellite. But Shiori wasn't a silhouette. So why didn't Nozomi mention her? She didn't die defending Futurum, but she was still a good person. At least, she tried to be to Nozomi, despite her unwillingness. Nozomi looked over to the fire, still burning bright. She looked over to Tana and Tamu, embracing in their sleep. Nozomi held a hand over where she so often scratched herself. The skin was still tender. Nozomi thought back to the one in her blood. How was she feeling? The world looked just as it did when she was betrayed by the love of her life. She was all alone on the coldest and darkest night of the year. Nozomi had done it again. Nozomi knew pure Futuran blood couldn't lie. She saw for herself what had happened in the past. She heard that soft, caring voice tinged with worry over her. That same voice made her sick, holding her back from dying with her friends. Nozomi thought it was selfish, and it still was. But maybe something had changed in her, just as something had changed in Nozomi. Nozomi would never know unless she reached out. It was Halazian after all. Even so, if she so much as tried to defend Yuki, Nozomi would leave. Nozomi clasped her hands over her chest and prayed. When she entered that void of purple and blue lights, she was surprised to see Veshnes on her knees in a full bow. Veshnes? The ways in which I took away your autonomy were unforgivable. I hid so much from you, even when I promised to be honest with you. I wasn't protecting you. I was protecting myself. That is why I was so adamant Yuki loved you. I should have listened to you. I say this not for your forgiveness, but so you know I agree it was all wrong for me to do. Nozomi didn't know what to say. She thought she would receive an apology or an excuse. She was more prepared for the latter. She needed to be cautious. Have you been watching me? Veshna sat up, her knees still firmly planted on the ground. She looked at Nozomi with her soft eyes. I have. Why didn't you say anything? I promised you I would only come if you called for me. You needed to get away from me and decide for yourself what you wanted to do. She said it so firmly, as if it was a command by God. Was she acting this way out of faith? Nozomi expected Veshnes to counter her thought, but she didn't. I hurt myself. I know. I tried to kill myself. I know. Why didn't you intervene? I wouldn't have been able to comfort you. She wasn't wrong. But you always said you wanted to keep me safe. I did what I could, but I began to trust Tana and Tamu to keep you safe as well. They understand what you've gone through. They both care for you deeply. They've helped you better than I ever could. Nozomi sighed. So you just silently watched me? I reflected as well. I had all the time for it, so I looked back. As much as I didn't want to believe it, I saw the cracks in Yuki. You felt them, the way she slightly bit her lip when she asked you to be trained by the military. She did the same to me many times. But you endured the worst of it. This had to be another trick. Veshna still held so much power. She could hear Nozomi's thoughts and know just what deceptively honest thing to say. But her face told a different story. It was soft and vulnerable, like Takumi. She had to stay strong. She had to know the truth. Do you still love her? I do. Even now, knowing all the monstrous things she did, I cannot lie to you and say that I don't. Veshnis didn't even hesitate to admit it. She looked like she wanted to bow her head in shame, but she kept it up for Nozomi to see. Veshnis was shaking. Her eyes looked wet as they reflected Nozomi's cold face. Despite the slight quiver in her lips, Veshnis remained strong. I acted selfishly. How could I say I care about you in the same breath as defending the person who violated and hurt you? It was so horrifically wrong of me. Veshnis never made excuses for herself alone. It was always in relation to protecting someone else, what she thought would help her loved ones, so she could be useful and justified her continued existence, so they would never leave her. God, it was just like Zomi. Zomi dropped to her knees. Veshnis shifted in concerned shock, but silently held herself back. Zomi looked towards Veshnis. Even with both of them on their knees, Veshnis still towered over Nozomi. For so long, she believed Veshnis to be a ferocious and calculated beast. Even when she was a lovesick girl, Veshnis was still a noble beacon of strength Nozomi could never compare to. Their bodies were so different, yet their hearts were the same. They always were. Everything I just thought right now, is it true? It is. Am I that similar to you? Just because she manipulated both of us? No, it's not just that, Nozomi. You've been a determined protector for as long as I've known you. Because you love so strongly, even when it hurts. Even when I'm betrayed. You still hold on because you have so few people in your life. You need to hold on if you want to keep on living. That's why. That's why Veshnis never looked at her with pity. Because she felt exactly as Nozomi did. Is that thought true? Yes. It all made perfect sense. Every feeling, every action. It was scary and overwhelming how much they shared. Even before Veshnis met Nozomi, they were alike. It was right there in front of her, and she didn't see it. Didn't want to see it. Did you realize we were alike? Yes. When? A little after I met you. I couldn't understand your words, but I could understand your actions. You wanted to protect your mother, just as I did. I only consciously realized the deeper depths of our similarities while I reflected. Subconsciously, they both knew. It's why Veshnis tried to help, while Nozomi pushed her away. It was terrifying. Veshnis saw all of her. Now Nozomi could see all of Veshnis. There was nothing left to hide. You aren't hiding anything else from me. I don't seek forgiveness for all that I've done to you. I can live knowing you found a true home. But I wanted to give you the same gift that I have. What are you talking about? I want to show you your own memories with full clarity, so you never have to be afraid of forgetting those that truly loved you, your friends, Shiori, and even your father. You never saw my dad. I didn't, but you did. That memory is still buried within you. With your permission, I want to uncover it. Would you like me to? Was this a trick? A play to gain her trust again so she wouldn't be alone? No, she said otherwise. She knew Nozomi wished for this long before Veshness was forced into her blood. I would, please. Veshness effortlessly rose to her feet. Then I'll need you to focus on the memory you want. Hold it tight and don't let go. Nozomi knew the exact one she wanted. She closed her eyes and thought back. She was young, maybe 6. She was warm on her father's lap, her eyes eagerly looking at the book her dad held before them. They're so pretty! Zomi's eyes shot open as she jumped to her feet. She was in her old bedroom, full of drawings, books, and stuffed animals. Over on the small pink bed, under the covers, was her younger self, along with. I know, right? Aren't they amazing? Yeah! I hear they're even more impressive in person. Do you think we'll get to see them one day? Of course. This one's my favorite. It's called Antares. It's so red. That's why it's called the heart of the Scorpius constellation. Wow. Suddenly, there was a noise in the hall. Young Nozomi leapt out of bed. Mom's home! She rushed out of bed, but Ren quickly followed after her and stopped her. Oh, hold on, hold on. Remember, Mom got back from a shift. She's very tired. Oh, right. I'm sorry, but you can say hi to her tomorrow in the morning. Okay. I know it's hard, but your mom loves you with all her heart. Once her work is complete, we'll have all the time in the world to explore the earth as a family. But what if World Death wins? Trust me, it won't. Not with your mom doing everything she can to fight it. Yeah, I get it. I'm not cool like she is. What? No! Nozomi's dad held her close. No matter what, your mom and I will always love you. Nozomi's dad kissed her head. Young Nozomi smiled a little, so her dad kissed her a few more times till she started to giggle. Tickles! I know, but I can't help it. I can't help that I love you so much. Nozomi's dad continued to tickle and tease her. Eventually, young Nozomi yawned. All right, let's get you to bed. Aw, but I want to see more of the stars. Don't worry, we'll look at them tomorrow. Okay. Nozomi's dad tucked her into bed, making sure she was snug and secure. He also made sure to grab the star book so she didn't try to stay up to look at it. Good night, Nozomi, our precious hope. He knelt down and kissed her gently on her forehead. Good night, Dad. Tell Mom I love her. I will. Young Nozomi watched as her father left for the door, turning the lights off on his way out. Once the room darkened, the plastic stars on the ceiling illuminated. She looked up at them, trying to find one that looked like Antares, all the while hoping she'd see the real thing soon with their mom and dad. Then it was just Nozomi in the present, standing in the white void. She thought she would cry. This is what she so desperately wanted, to see her dad free from distortion. Nozomi didn't realize until now that included her rose tinted image of him. Nozomi, are you all right? I. I didn't remember him doing that. Covering for her. When did he do that? I don't know for sure. But if I had to guess, he thought he was protecting you. Like you? Yes. That's just my feeling. The most hurtful things are done in the name of protection. That's why the war went on for as long as it did. Why my friends were tricked into killing Futurans. Everyone wants peace for those they love. Images of Takumi pleading in her arms flashed in Nozomi's head. Nozomi! I'm fine. I'm fine. I can show you happy memories of Takumi. Exactly how he was, flaws and all. No one is perfect. They really aren't. So why did she expect some to be the exception? For security? For safety? So she could confidently throw her life away just for them and their dreams? No one is perfect. Yet, they could always change. Like Aito. Like Veshnes. Why did you change so much without me? Nozomi, it was never your job to change me. As an adult, it's my responsibility to improve. No one else's, least of all a child. Well, technically, I'm an adult now. Veshna smiled warmly. You still have a lot of growing to do. For the first time, Zomi felt comforted looking at Veshnis. She wasn't the same egotistical Veshnis that killed countless people. She wasn't a parasite either. She was a woman trying her best to live despite all she had lost. I'm sorry, Veshnis. Veshnis looked at her with utter confusion. Nozomi never thought she would say it either, but it needed to be said. I always thought the sacred blood Mom gave me was a testament of her love. That as long as I kept it, it means she was still with me. But it wasn't her love. It was yours. This whole time, you're the one that loved me unconditionally. Zomi, I betrayed you. I don't. No! We both made mistakes, but we both learned and grew. There's still so much I must atone for. We both have things to work on, but I think it'd be nice to do it together. What do you mean? Carefully, Nozomi raised her hand and extended it to Veshnes. I mean, let's start again with all that we've learned so we can work together and build our own future, whatever we want, together. Do you want to, Veshnes? As you. No! This isn't an order! It's your choice! What do you want? I want to work with you, Nozomi. To keep you safe, but also to give you comfort and companionship, so I can see you grow into whatever you so desire, as you deserve. I figured as much, but thank you. Additionally, I wish to change my name to one that hasn't been tainted. But that's your name. You don't have to change it for me. It is for you and myself. All right, if that's what you want, what's your new name? Xiaoze. It means guardian. Xiaoze. That sounds perfect. Thank you. The newly named Xiaoze rose to her feet and joined her hand with Nozomi's. Her firm yet soft palm radiated warmth. It could easily crush her hand, but Nozomi knew with full confidence it never would. This was Xiaoze after all, and no one else. Chapter 13. Snow Blooms. Nozomi inched through the mountain forest. She walked this path a few times, but the terrain was still rugged. Some snow still remained in defiance of the warm sun, desperately trying to smother the foliage as it melted away. From the snow came flowers, aptly named snow blooms. They were a lot like a crocus, except they had 8 petals and blue stamen. Surprisingly, they had no scent. They didn't need it. Hamu, stay close to me. The roots are all over the place. Oh, sister, it is fine. Zomi chuckled to herself and turned to the siblings trailing behind her. What's the problem? Tamu here thinks he can do it all on his own. I still don't think this is a good idea that you're out here foraging with us. Oh, sister, please let me do this on my own. I will never learn if you keep sheltering me. I hate that Nozomi's rubbed off on you. Fine, go ahead. Tana backed away, allowing Tamu to navigate the routes by himself with his trusty cane and loyal Velvy. He managed to get it all done on himself. Once he was free of the branches and roots, he turned to where he last left Tana and smiled. See, I told you I could do it on my own. I never doubted you, Tamu. Whatever. You're such a pain sometimes, but at least you're getting better at navigating the forest, I guess. Yeah, who knows? Maybe you could even climb a mountain. Oh, that would be so much fun. Ugh. We're losing daylight. Daylight, we need to find Zontia roots. What if we split up? Then we can cover more ground. No, you're not going alone. Nozomi smiled, prompting Tana to realize her mistake. Xiaoze will be with me the whole time. She can remember the way back and okay. You don't have to brag about it. You told us the whole list of amazing things she can do several times. So, can I go? You have some lover's lilies on you? Always. Fine then. Just don't get mauled again. Sister. What? I'm just saying. It's fine. I'll see you later. Not if Zaphix and I find the Zontia route first. Correction, we will find it. You're not getting out of the buddy system just yet. Maybe not today. One day I will. You'll see. I look forward to it, Tamu. Nozomi parted from the group. Zontia roots grew between the cracks of rocks, so they should be around a river. Yes, that's where she needed to go. Although she was fuzzy on how to get there from here. Shaze, could you help me, please? Of course. The river is to your right. There's an incline, so be careful where you step. These days, whenever Shaoze spoke, her voice melted any lingering cold from Nozomi's body. For better or worse, she was like the sun, capable of boiling her from the inside out, yet more often than not, providing her with a radiant light. Through that light, she could see and understand so much of this world and the past. Did you ever look for Zontia roots back then? Yes, every spring, though I would often butt heads with Valfor on where to find them. Eventually, he just let me forage on my own. Siblings sure do argue a lot, but it makes sense. You only wanted to look out for each other. That, and I always wanted to prove myself as the strongest. Naturally. Yet, once Ava was old enough to forage with us, she found it all on her own within her first day, without any of our help. She always had a strong sense for where things grew. That's what made her the paragon of nature, among many other talents. There was a small, respectful silence. Nozomi had already apologized so many times for Ava's death, yet it still never felt like enough. She hoped that maybe Valfor was alive out there, but it was unlikely. Don't blame yourself, Nozomi. What's done is done. Like you, I can keep them alive through my memories. I know. I want to see all of them with you, and you will. Nozomi stopped, closed her eyes, and took in the breath of the forest in honor of Ava. She felt the long, interconnecting roots of the tree, smelled the overwhelming sense of life, heard the bristle of the leaves and grass. She could even hear a few birds chirp and rodent like animals chittering in the branches. Listening closer, she could also hear, "The river is close by!" "Yes, just be careful. There might be other animals stopping for a drink." "I know." She found the river, free from ice. However, her eyes were more captivated by the stones on the bank. They held no Zontia roots, but the color was the exact same as Shiori's hair. Not quite auburn, not quite gray. A perfect mix of the two, tinged with shadow, yet still shining bright. She had long since drawn all her friends and family for herself and Tana. With this, she was one step closer to filling all their lines with lively color. Then Nozomi heard a familiar sound, a sound that sent a sharp chill down her back. "Stay calm. They're on the other side of the river, on your left." Carefully, Nozomi looked over, and there she was, the bear and her cubs. They didn't seem to notice, though. The mother bear was lapping up water from the lake as the cubs playfully played in the water. "Breathe. Good." The bear raised her head from the water and somehow looked right at Nozomi. Nozomi tensed up. Her once broken leg screamed for her to run. "It's okay. Stay perfectly still. She has no reason to approach you." Shaoze was right. The bear wasn't a mindless, violent beast. She was just a mother, looking out for her children. Seeing as they were safe by her side, she had no reason to attack. Mother Bear turned away and called her cubs to follow. The cubs were caught up in play, so she had to call them a few times. Truly, they were no different from any other normal family. Normal. Was anything about Nozomi's family ever normal? Your father loved you. That was normal. What about her? Do you think she ever loved me? She needed to let it go. She knew that. Yet even now, her thoughts still lingered back to her mother every now and then. Part of her still childishly wondering if there was anything she could have done to change what happened. It's natural to wonder. I ask myself that same question even now. But she clearly cared about you. Not enough to tell me the truth. Nozomi sighed in reluctant agreement. She was only ever a person. Agreed. As easy as it would have been to simplify her mother down to a complete monster, void of feeling, it wouldn't be the whole truth. The pain came from knowing she could have changed on her own at so many points in time. After she left Futurum, after the car crash, after her project was cancelled. I won't make that same mistake. Neither will I. Yes, the frigid memories would no doubt come back. They were inevitable as winter snow. Yet, like with winter, Nozomi and Xiaozhe would weather it together until the warmth and light returned to them. Nozomi followed the river until it transformed into a roaring waterfall straight off a steep cliff. Nose onto your roots. Nozomi groaned in defeat. Hopefully Tamu, Tana, and Zaphix had better luck. She was so useless. Nozomi, you know that isn't true. You're right. I'm just not as good at foraging like Tana. But Nozomi rolled her eyes and repeated the mantra Xiaozhe taught her. My life is no less valuable than anyone else. Yes. Considering how far she walked, Nozomi decided to rest on the cliff. Out there, past the expanse of mountain and trees, she could see the city ruins she once passed through. Last she saw them, the ruins glowed with a few lights in the darkness of night, a guaranteed sign that Futurans were moving back in, reclaiming their rightful homes and healing. Just what Takumi had wished for. The clear memory of his smile came to her. If only he lived in place of her. She knew right away what Xiaozhe would say. I can't change the past. Only Takumi could. But that's okay. It was his choice. Yes. It wasn't all bad. Takumi made that choice for himself. Same as Xiaozhe deciding to save Nozomi from the final fight. Had Takumi not gone back in time, Nozomi wouldn't have met him as early. They wouldn't have learned the truth about the war, and by extension, the truth about Karua. Xiaozhe wouldn't have been able to understand and speak to Nozomi when she needed her most. Painful as it all was, especially with the complete loss of humanity, some good came from it. Longing for Takumi and her friends, Nozomi reflected on her memories of them. Through Xiaozhe, she could remember all of them, down to the smallest detail. From every bizarre food combination Ima and Kako cooked up, to the subtler things, like the way Shoma slowly walked with a little more confidence each day. Even Darumi, she could remember through how the others, especially Hiriko, spoke of her. She made she said many strange and out-of-pocket things, but under it all she was just a teenage girl trying to enjoy what little she could from life. All of them did their best to find that. Nozomi held herself. Cold wind brushed through her short hair, but on the wind was the sound of a friend. Nozomi looked up and saw Mikado flying towards her. Nozomi outstretched her hand, allowing Mikado to land. And what do you have, Mikado? Mikado offered her. Guess what I needed? A broken red crayon. Sure, it looked like trash, but it was precious. This is just what I need for Takumi's hair. Thank you, Mikado. He's a very clever bird, that one. I'll say. Do you know where I can find some Zantia roots? The raven tilted his head. I guess not. That's okay. As guilty as Nozomi felt for not finding the Zantia roots, she knew it didn't matter. No one would love her any less. Not Tamu, not Tana, and especially not Xiaozhe. They'd stay with her forever, no matter what. I did my best, so let's go back. Good idea. You have a few portraits you can color now. Yep. Hopefully Mikado can find something purple for Ava. Maybe you could use the snow bloom petals when they wilt. That's sad. I wouldn't want to crush them after all they've done, all that hard work growing. I understand. That's very kind of you, Nozomi. Don't worry. We'll find some purple. Someday. If not here, then somewhere beyond the mountain. Yes, when you're ready. Mikado took off to the sky, allowing Nozomi to stand up. She took in one last view of the city ruins. One day, she'd meet more Futurans. She'd see the entire world with Tana and Tamu. But that day wasn't today. It didn't need to be. Takumi's wish could be fulfilled later. In many ways, she had already done enough. Futurum still needed a lot of time to recover and rebuild, just as she did. So she'd wait. Time to head home. Nozomi looked forward to updating the portraits, checking on the garden, cleaning all their rooms, maybe even reading that book on fairy tales. She had so many choices. The road ahead was uncertain. Not even the god of this planet could know. Takumi alone was the only one who could change the past, but he was far from the only one who could choose in the present. Whatever she truly wanted, Zomi could choose for herself. Because it was Nozomi's future.